Fight Tub, The Bedlam Bible No. 4. Written by William Pauley III. Narrated by Brannigan. 1. This story begins on the night I first felt my apartment breathe. I suppose it was fear that had brought me there in the first place. The bathroom, I mean. I was simply existing in the living room when it crept into my veins. No trigger, no spark. Just an internal odometer slowly rising from point zero. What was I afraid of? I couldn't say. Whatever it was, it caused me to panic, and the panic sent it hurtling in a frenzy in all directions, uncontrollable. Fear was everywhere, in and outside of me. I was swimming and living inside it, and it was twisting into me. Once it tore into my gut, I ran out of the room and down the dark hall into the bathroom. Perhaps I needed someone, but I was alone. My only comfort in that moment was knowing that the fear was surfacing. I could feel it rising in the back of my throat. Soon it would all be over, purged from my system, wholly, completely. I fell to my knees and gripped the edge of the commode, waiting for the fear to spew, all while watching the sweat drip from the tip of my nose, rippling into the pooled water of the bowl. It never came. The fear just hung there, clinging to the back of my throat. My breath quickened. My clothes grew damp with perspiration and clung to me like pleading hands, pulling me to the floor below. I had to lie down. I pressed my face to the cool linoleum and stared into the void, a place somewhere deep inside me. It was there I could finally see it, the fear, in all its many colors, like a prism spinning into a noxious blur. I watched helplessly as fear swirled about inside, infecting me. Right there, beneath the sink, I fell asleep to the lulling churn of sickness. And that's when it happened. The apartment breathed, right there below me. The floor hissed, and when the hissing stopped, it ballooned with what I could only assume was air, a breath, a sigh. When it exhaled, the hissing sound returned, like hot steam rushing out a burst pipe. I thought perhaps I'd gone mad from illness, but it felt all too real. That's when I noticed it wasn't just the floor that was breathing, but also the walls, the sink, the toilet. The entire room and every object inside it was bubbling and gasping for air. The fear ripped into my heart and sent it thundering into panic again. I placed my hands on the edge of the tub and pulled myself inside it. The tub was a place of deep comfort and a source for healing. It, too, was panting, but I still found some solace knowing I was inside it. As the porcelain throbbed, I found myself writhing within it, running my fingers along its thundering pulse. I closed my eyes and absorbed its wheeze. Hours later, I awakened, still inside the tub. All was calm. Every porcelain and chrome fixture stood firm, unmoving. The floor and walls remained breathless for the entirety of my investigation. I stared intently from my position inside the tub for several minutes, hyper-aware of every object inside the room, until finally deciding it was probably safe to stand. I grabbed hold of the faucet and pulled myself onto my feet. I wasn't sure of the time, but I sensed I was probably running late for work again. I had a bad habit of allowing the night to carry on much longer than it should, much to the annoyance of Mr. Kim, my boss. I worked in the marketing department of the network, a television station located in the 8th block tower, the same building that contained my apartment. Imagine living literally a minute's walk from your job and still being unable to make it to work on time. I take full responsibility. It was something I was working diligently to correct, but still there was the occasional slip-up. If I was serious about being considered for promotion, I'd have to find a remedy. I pressed my hands against the edge of the sink and pushed my full weight upon it. My legs felt weak. Turns out sleeping inside a bathtub is bad for blood circulation. Dull pain tingled in my legs as I stood. Taking the weight off of them helped a bit, until the blood got to flowing again. Once they felt mostly normal, I twisted the knobs in the sink and splashed my face with a few handfuls of warm water. I grabbed a towel and patted my face dry. When I pulled it away,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?